Welcome to this Good Carpet Guide explainer. Now, if you're a parent, you already know the absolute chaotic reality of designing a playroom. I mean, we all want a space that encourages creativity, right? But let's be real for a second. We also desperately need that space to survive juice spills, pet accidents, the occasional rogue permanent marker, and the daily stampedes of kids. And we'd love to do it all without completely breaking the bank. Honestly, finding the absolute best carpet for a playroom can feel like trying to solve a giant, impossible puzzle.
So you probably find yourself asking this critical question: what actually is the secret to a stain-proof, snag-free playroom? You walk into a flooring store here in the US and boom, suddenly you're overwhelmed by all this intense industry jargon. People are throwing words at you like denier, pile height, face weight, polymer classifications. Honestly, it's enough to make you just throw your hands up and leave the concrete bare. But don't worry, we're going to cut through the noise today and translate all of that technical data into actionable, real-world solutions for your home.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The Playroom Flooring Challenge. 2. Nylon versus Triexta fibers. 3. Avoiding the softness trap. 4. Beware the Berber snag. 5. Picking the perfect pad. And finally, number 6, smart basement flooring strategies. Okay, let's jump right into section 1. The Playroom Flooring Challenge, surviving spills, snags, and heavy foot traffic. This quote right here perfectly hits the nail on the head. When it comes to the parent's struggle, the best kids' rugs and carpets aren't just there to look pretty. They have to do it all. They need to be soft enough for a toddler to tumble on, safe, hypoallergenic, and, crucially, easy to clean after a major craft disaster. It really is a balancing act. The ideal selection perfectly balances high physical durability with absolute comfort. Moving on to section 2, Nylon versus Triexta fibers, the battle of the polymers. Okay, so the physical and chemical performance of any carpet is going to be dictated by its base fibers. And here, we're looking at the two absolute heavyweights competing in the residential market today. In one corner, we have nylon, specifically nylon 6/6. Now, this is the gold standard for durability. It has this incredible, best-in-class elastic recovery rate of over 90%. What does that mean for you? It means it bounces right back from heavy traffic and the dents left by heavy toy chests. But in the other corner, we have the rising star, Triexta, which you'll probably see under brand names like Mohawk SmartStrand. Triexta has a completely different superpower. It boasts an extremely low moisture absorption rate, like almost zero. It has permanent built-in stain resistance right at the molecular level, so it naturally repels liquid spills, and it doesn't even need those topical chemical coatings that eventually wash off over time. Plus, it usually holds the Green Label Plus certification, which means no harmful off-gassing, making it incredibly safe for the little ones. Now, you're definitely going to see a third option sitting there in the stores, and that's polyester, or PET. And honestly, it's very budget-friendly, often ranging from just $1 to $3.50 a square foot, and it is naturally stain-resistant. But look at that middle row right there. Elastic recovery. Polyester has an elastic recovery of under 60%. That's practically a deal breaker. This means you should absolutely avoid it for active playrooms because it will physically flatten and mat down super fast under heavy foot traffic, and it is never bouncing back. So really, when you're hunting for the best carpet for a playroom, your true choice is between the sheer resilience of nylon and the permanent stain-blocking power of Triexta. To put a human face to all that technical data, check out this real-world feedback. We have a homeowner in Plano, Texas, who installed a Triexta-based carpet. They reported that after several months of literal chaos, 3 children and a dog constantly running over it, there were absolutely no signs of flattening or wear. And we've seen other reports of homeowners washing out severe, multicolored M&M dye spills using literally nothing but warm water in 10 minutes. I mean, no way, right? But that's exactly the kind of peace of mind these modern fibers are bringing to the table. Let's dive into section 3, avoiding the softness trap. Do not let a luxurious showroom feel trick you. Professional installers are constantly warning us about this massive industry pitfall. Carpet manufacturers know how to get us. They achieve this incredible cloud-like initial softness by using fine denier fibers. That basically just means the individual strands are very thin. They use a looser twist, often with a really high pile. You run your hand over it in the showroom and it feels amazing. But here's the catch. Those thin strands completely lack structural density. In a high-energy playroom, they will quickly succumb to permanent crushing and what's called pathing, where the fibers basically just give up and lay down flat forever in your main walkways. So how do we avoid that trap? The crucial takeaway here is that you want to demand a dense, low pile height. The magic number for a playroom is a pile height right between 0.30 and 0.50 inches. This gives you the best of both worlds. It provides just enough cushioning to protect a toddler if they take a tumble, but it creates a flat, structurally stable surface. That makes it incredibly easy to vacuum up goldfish crumbs, and maybe the most important part, your kids can actually build their block towers and race toy cars across it without everything immediately tipping over. Moving right along to Section 4, Beware the Berber Snag, Why Popular Loop Carpets Fail in Playrooms. We really need to address this widespread misconception that Berber is the ultimate, indestructible family carpet. Now, Berber and level loop carpets are incredibly durable under vertical compression. If you're just walking on them, they're tanks. But they have a fatal flaw in a playroom environment, and it's a mechanical failure known as zippering. You see, Berber is made by sewing continuous strands of yarn into the backing without ever cutting the loops. So if a sharp toy, a stray piece of Lego, or even a pet's claw catches just one of those continuous loops, it can pull and unravel the carpet laterally, straight down the line. It's literally like pulling a zipper. You can destroy the whole floor from one single snag. Because of that zippering risk, you're definitely going to want to pivot to some ideal alternatives. The smart move is looking for a textured cut pile or a freeze style. These carpets use highly twisted yarns that curl back on themselves, which means there are absolutely zero continuous loops to snag on. No loops, no zippering. And as a really nice bonus, that highly twisted textured surface is totally fantastic at hiding footprints and those annoying vacuum track marks.
All right, Section 5, Picking the Perfect Pad, the unsung hero of your playroom floor.
Look, the surface fiber you pick is really only half the battle. The pad underneath is what actually dictates your carpet's true lifespan. So, here is your exact prescription to take to the carpet store. Demand an 8-pound density pad. Don't let them talk you out of it. While a standard 6-pound pad is definitely cheaper, and yeah, it might feel a tiny bit softer initially, an 8-pound density pad is absolutely crucial. It provides the necessary firmness and support to prevent your brand new carpet from wrinkling and to protect the backing in those heavy, high-traffic play zones. You'll also want to stick to a thickness right between 3/8 of an inch and 7/16 of an inch. I know it's tempting to get the ultra-thick pad so it feels like you're walking on a cloud, but too much thickness allows for too much flex, and that flexing will actually damage the carpet over time. And listen to this part. Most importantly for a playroom, ensure your pad includes a breathable vapor moisture barrier. This is non-negotiable. It stops a spilled cup of juice or a pet accident from soaking straight through the pad and into your wooden subfloor. That's how you prevent those permanent, hidden odors that you can never quite track down. And finally, Section 6, Smart Basement Flooring Strategies, Engineering Around Below-Grade Moisture. Basements are incredibly popular spots for playrooms for obvious reasons, but these below-grade environments completely change all our flooring recommendations because of hydrostatic moisture risks. If you are setting up a healthy basement playroom, you really need to follow these steps. Step 1. Completely avoid traditional thick rebond pads and stretch-in carpets directly on concrete. They act exactly like sponges, trapping moisture and eventually leading to mold. Step 2. You must create a continuous air gap so the concrete slab can breathe. And step 3, the smartest, easiest way to do this is by installing modular carpet tiles that feature raised plastic bases. Let's compare the real-world options down there. Premium modular systems, like floor tiles for example, are these 19.7-inch squares with heavy structured backings. Now, if your kid totally ruins a section with permanent marker or glowing green slime, you have the incredible advantage of modular replacement. You literally just pull up that single ruined square, wash it in the sink, or worst case, just replace it. On the flip side, if you absolutely insist on doing traditional wall-to-wall broadloom carpet in a basement, it requires some serious moisture mitigation. We're talking a perfectly sealed slab, a 6mm polyethylene vapor barrier laid down first, and a premium mold-resistant froth foam pad. It is a lot more work and a lot more money, which is exactly why modular tiles are almost always the safer, smarter bet below grade. Okay, let's wrap this whole thing up by summarizing the definitive, actionable, winning combinations so you know exactly what to demand at the store. For an above-grade playroom, go with Triexta or Nylon in a low-profile textured cut pile. Pair that up with an 8-pound density pad that's roughly 3/8 of an inch thick and has that all-important moisture barrier. Now, if you're outfitting a basement, go with modular tiles with a raised breathable backing. And universally, across the board, avoid low-density polyester that's just going to flatten out, and avoid continuous loop Berber that's a zippering disaster waiting to happen. By looking past the showroom's softness trick and actually understanding the physical materials, you can honestly create an absolute fortress of a floor. So, I want to leave you with this thought. If your playroom's floor could effortlessly survive spilled paint, pet accidents, and those daily stampedes, what would you let your kids create next? Armed with this insider knowledge, you are absolutely ready to transform your chaotic playroom into a durable, creative haven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer from Good Carpet Guide.